Let me start this by saying that this entire situation was overwhelming for many different reasons. When I grew up, my parents and my sister treated me badly through my entire childhood. Because while my sister, who is 2 years older than me, was an intended child, I wasn't. And they exactly treated me this way while they spoiled her rotten. Going into details about my childhood is something I want to avoid, but I guess it doesn't hurt me to give you an impression. My parents treated me more like a slave, as I had to do all of the chores when I came home from school, and I slept in the guest room on a dirty couch, while my sister had a big room with a big bed. They even invented a 2-class meal system for me and my sister, where I was only allowed to eat, let alone sit down at a table when they and her were done eating. Meaning, basically, I ate their leftovers. They were also physically harming me, as my mom and dad loved to beat me whenever something from the chores wasn't done correctly. My sister was no better. I wasn't a sibling to her, more like a housemaid. She loved bullying me at school and at home. She even told lies to the only friends I had so they wouldn't like me anymore. She told them I was talking bad behind their backs. Any explanation attempt failed, so for the most part, I was alone during my childhood that was filled with tears and pain. When I turned 18, they kicked me out of the house and they probably didn't expect what came next. I completely cut any contact and built my life for myself. I found my first real job, and from that point on, my life only went forward, and I never wanted to look back ever again. My life got better and better, as I then got a much better paying job. Now I was able to afford an apartment. My life went well, and I became a high supervisor in the company I worked for. Remembering my parents' jobs, I probably make more each month than both of them combined. And since I lived alone in a quite modest apartment, my income far exceeded my financial expenses, meaning that I was able to save a lot of money. Before I explain what happened now, I need to mention that my sister had a condition from an early age. As I am not an immature a-hole, I won't go into any details about it. This is a matter that only concerns my sister and her doctor, and maybe my parents. I respect that and don't interfere, but I still have to mention it for this story to make sense. Okay, fast forward to a few months ago. I received a call from an unknown number. I haven't talked to them for quite a while, so I didn't recognize the voice at first. But it was my mother. When I realized who it was, I just wanted to hang up. But I think she saw that coming and begged me to not hang up and let her explain why she called. She slowly started to apologize and ask if we could meet. She said I don't have to talk to her. She just wants me to listen to what she has to say. I honestly still don't know how she found out my phone number. Whatever. I agreed since I had 2 weeks off from my work anyway, and honestly, she's really good at persuading people. Besides that, I had a plan. Well, we agreed to meet at a local cafe the next week. And when they came, I was surprised to see my father there too. When they saw me, both of them smiled at me widely and hugged me tight. I pushed them away and told them I'm not comfortable with this, and they apologized immediately. This was strange, really strange. They never behaved this way towards me, and I felt something was off, and I asked them to tell me why they want to talk to me. The next hour was them explaining how sorry they are and how deeply they regret treating me the way they did. It was so awkward, but then they finally got to the point. My mom explained that my sister still lived with them and that her condition got way worse. She needs a specific surgery that would help her, but her health care is so expensive for them that they cannot afford it while having to deal with the other expenses. And the longer they wait, her condition would get worse, and it would get more expensive. What they basically told me was they were in a financial downward spiral. They told me that their insurance company refuses to cover the surgery, so they have to find another solution. They told me that they saw a photo of a company meeting at my company on Facebook that a coworker had shared, and I also was on a photo, so they figured that I was now successful. Honestly, I don't like that word. It sounds so snobby. Then said they know they have no right to ask me for this, but they asked if I could help them financially. I stayed quiet the whole time, and when they were done explaining, I asked them to meet my sister. Surprisingly, she was in a hospital, and that is also why she couldn't come too. She had a separate room, and when she saw me, she also smiled with delight. You guys understand why I still think this was super awkward and weird, right? However, we talked a bit, and I asked her and my parents why I should help them. I wanted to confront all of them at the same time. I just talked and released all the suppressed emotions at once. I told every one of them how much they hurt me over the years and all the horrible things they did to me. I also knew that I had a power of their fate in my hands now. When I was done with everything, I just left the room without looking back. And you can't imagine how good I felt getting all of this off my chest. And then I decided to actually play the power move. I did something that probably none of them expected. Yes, I actually paid for surgery. A surgery that could possibly make her condition stable for a very long time. I could have decided right there and then to never look back and just let her rot. But instead, I decided to help them. I think that this was way more powerful. I also knew that this would probably make them feel way more guilty and regretful for what they did to me. I had seen Schindler's List a few weeks before all of that happened. I'm not lying when I say that a famous quote from Oskar Schindler inspired me to do this. That power is when we have every justification to kill and we don't. I asked a young doctor to go into their room now and tell them that the surgery would be paid. I then left the hospital and drove home. My sister texted me and said that she's so thankful that I did this for her. That she feels so horrible for treating me how she had treated me, blah blah blah. Where are we? In a drama series? The same texts also came from my parents. By the way, the surgery went well. I feel in peace with myself. I feel good. Till today, they often text me and ask if we could meet. What an interesting turn of events. Edit. For those who don't understand the power move, if I would have just left my sister to rot in her hospital bed, I wouldn't be any better than them. Me paying proves I will always be the better person. I know who I am, and I know that helping her was the right thing to do, even if some of you might not agree. Because even after all the trauma and pain they inflicted on me, I still am a good person who was able to keep his humanity, unlike them. If this makes you think they won, then I don't know what to tell you. And guys, don't need to worry. I'm going to block them soon, as I'm not ready to reconcile in the near future. I just want to see how hard they're gonna try to get my attention again. Now for the top comments. You do know that unless you block them, they will keep making demands and ask for money. Who said I'm gonna give it to them? You already did OP, but then if it helps you on your path to healing, then why not? Nope, I didn't pay for the surgery because they demanded it, but to prove that I am better than they ever will be. I don't feel the need to treat people like trash. Brace yourself for the many surgeries or things they're gonna ask you for from now on. If you think that they feel more guilty or whatever, you are wrong. Now they think you're free game and would mooch off you because you are a good person who still craves his family's attention. If you think this is the end, you are so wrong. The surgery was a real thing. I made sure it was. And they haven't asked for anything in the last months. They only asked for me to meet them, and I told them they won't get anything more from me. Next story. My pregnant ex keeps trying to move into my apartment, plus many updates. Original post. This is my friend's story that I'm posting for him because he doesn't have an account and wants people to hear about this. Also, for convenience sake, I'm going to write this in first-person point of view because pronouns are hard to keep up with. So I, 21 male, have an ex, Angelica, 20 female. Angelica and I had an on and off relationship since we were about 15, but got serious when COVID hit and I had to move back to my hometown. We got an apartment together, and very soon after, she started spending a lot of time with her cousin. Long story short, she's boning her fake cousin, and we break up. We've been broken up 9 months at this point. For 7 of those months, her phone has been on my phone bill, and she owes me over $500. Fine, whatever. I'll never see that $500, and she always makes excuses to pay me back. That's life. My own fault for letting her keep using me as a cash cow. She also took my car when we broke up, and I let her because I was too afraid she would try to take my apartment too. Anyway, it's 9 months past our breakup. I get a message. Hey, I'm pregnant. I'm on my way home from work, so I don't respond. That is 9 months past being my problem. It is not my baby. She messages me again. My boyfriend, the one she cheated on me with, and I have nowhere to stay. Still, 9 months past my problem. Angelica has never worked a day in her life. She lives off the disability check from her boyfriend and spends 99% of it on weed and fast food. She never paid rent and is documented to never pay rent. Anyway, she tells me, my name is still on the lease. We're going to move in September. I tell her, your name is not on the lease. It was renewed last month and I took your name off. I'm sorry. She messages me calling me an a-hole and saying she's moving in because she has nowhere for her baby and 3 dogs to stay. Mind you, my apartment is more like a studio and barely fits me, let alone 2 other people and 3 dogs. I tell her it's not happening. I'm moving out of town soon anyway. Also to come pick up her things that she's left at my apartment for 9 months. She says no, and that if I throw it away, she's going to press charges. I tell her it doesn't matter, because when I move, I'm throwing it away. She later called my landlord and told him I was planning to move out. I got upset at this and told her I ran the numbers on a car as it's still in my name. Get the car out of my name now, or I'm repossessing it, or she can leave me the heck alone. She started bawling on a call asking how could I do this to her and her unborn child, and I was condemning her and her child to be homeless. She also still has a firearm in my name that I told her to give back or I'm calling the cops. I'm really considering repossessing the car since it was mine from the start and is still in my name. She doesn't deserve to get a free car handed to her. She needs to wake up. She keeps saying she needs a place to stay, that I'm ruining her and her baby's life. It's literally my apartment that she has never once paid rent on. I don't know how she thinks she's entitled to just live in my apartment with the guy she cheated on me with, and 3 dogs. I hope the baby ends up okay. It's not his fault its mother is a spoiled brat. But I also hope being homeless and carless wakes her the heck up. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Dude, your friend needs to file several police reports, like yesterday. First and foremost, for the firearm that she has in her possession that's registered in his name. If he hasn't reported it stolen and she uses it in any kind of crime, he's gonna get charges on him for not keeping track of it at the very least. And the car. Who has the title? Did he sign it over to her? If not, that needs to be reported stolen as well. Yep, this dude's life is about to get freaking wrecked. OP needs to sit down with him and write it all down in a to-do list and check off every one of those boxes from most important to last. The ex can really mess his life up. Granted, she isn't smart, but could easily Google a how-to. Yes, and the list as follows. 1. Call the police and report the car as stolen. 2. Ditto and report the weapon as stolen. 3. Get her off the phone plan if he hasn't already. 4. File a small claims court case for the $500. 5. Make sure all paperwork for the dog comes back to you alone. 6. Get a restraining order or stay-away order of protection from your local court. Use the stolen firearm and car and threats against your home and pet as the reasons. 7. Sit back and watch your world burn. Your friend is a doormat and really dumb. That's what I've been telling him too. Why hasn't he canceled the phone? $500? Why let it get that far? Poor sap. I hope she doesn't ruin him for the good women out there. You need to ditch the friend. He's going to drag you down with him. Nah, we don't live near each other. Very limited contact except over the phone. He's just a really nice guy, but also stupid and a doormat. Thanks though. Now for the mini updates. My friend said his ex is coming to pick up her stuff tomorrow and return the weapon. If he gets shot, I'll let you guys know, I guess. Update 2. Her and her boyfriend, a fake cousin, came to my friend's apartment, returned a gun, and picked up her stuff. Her boyfriend then proceeded to wave his own firearm around and demand to be put back on the lease. Not how that works. My friend called the cops, and they booked it out of there before the cops arrived. I'm not sure about the rest. Also, no response back from him, so I don't know at this point. Alright, final update. Phone is no longer on the phone bill, her stuff is out of his apartment, his gun is returned, dog is in his possession, still no car. He said it's not worth it at this point. My friend asked for no charges, so I doubt anything will happen. He said he's cutting her out of his life and going no contact. I'm personally upset about the car, but nothing to do about it now. Last story. I ghosted my ex 10 months ago and I couldn't be more proud of myself. My ex cheated, lied, and had a baby on me. We were supposed to get married and moved in this year. I won't go into too much details because it is in the past now, but the relationship became very toxic. And I've been hiding since then. I think he was used to me always taking him back after being nasty. I didn't know he was cheating or had a baby until we broke up. Even had nudes of a mutual friend. I was too nice. The good girl. I'm not perfect, but I saw myself totally become unrecognizable in this relationship. My mother would even beg me to get out. Anyway, one day he just crossed the line. The usual routine would be that he'd call me after work to discuss the incident, gaslight me, make it all my fault, and I'd say sorry if I wasn't at his place. So on that very day, I kept quiet as normal while he screamed at me in front of his brother and degraded me. I said, okay, thank you. Blocked, deleted him, and changed my number immediately. Ghosted 99% of our mutual friends too. I just cut off the other 1% recently too, for being gossips. I thought I wouldn't last this long. He was expecting me to be like the other women who outed him once he was cheating me on with. Lol. Nope. Not a word or explanation. I know that surprised the heck out of his friends too. They wanted me to be the crazy girlfriend. One of them even told me they were surprised by how calm I handled this. But I couldn't waste my energy on such rubbish, and I needed therapy. Anyway, time has gone by so quickly. I've spent most of this year in my flat crying my eyes out because I truly loved him. But I'm ready for 2023 now. No turning back. Say no to toxic people and friends. Wow, that's amazing. You should be proud of your strength. Well done. And you've handled that a-hole with class. Thank you so much. That means a lot. He done me really dirty. And I know he was expecting me to blast him like his other girls. But I just couldn't reduce myself to that. Besides leaving him, not playing his game is what I'm most proud of. Great. He isn't worth your time. You will find someone who deserves you and will treat you the way you deserve to be treated. Thank you. Has he tried to come by or contact you in any other way? Or is he seemingly accepting you blocking him? Good for you. He didn't even try once. It hurt initially, but told me everything I needed to know about him. He could have used so many methods to contact me. Didn't try once. I can't believe I fell in love with such a person. Very eye-opening. He has already moved on. And it's not even with a pregnant woman last I heard.